It is. That's the same. Maryville. See how they're
We have that. And it also sends a message to his wife. His wife sees something. The wife sending another update when he was talking about that the location has changed from Raleigh.
She got taken to
Oh no. Volume's all set? Okay, cool.
Okay. Oh, he's going to do about
All three of us.
Oh, I bet he's going to have a conversation about art. I mean, we're still talking about them. I keep going. It's just all we have an idea.
Testing. Hello. Maybe it'd be better this way. Welcome, everyone. Make yourself comfortable. It is great to be here on such a beautiful day. I am Tom Smith, Chair of the Highland Community College Board of Trustees. It is my honor to preside over the inauguration of the 44th President of Highland Community College, Deborah Fox. At this time, I have a special thank you, a couple of recognitions that I would like to make. The staff of Highland Community College, and let me emphasize, that includes the 9-county service area and our service sites and all of those employees, staff, and faculty members there too. I would like to thank all of them for their work and effort in hosting this inauguration program. The Walmago Center, the Perry Center, our Technical Center at Atchison, and our Western Center at Baileyville, as well as our campus here at Highland. A special thank you to Rebecca Johnson. Rebecca, are you, wait, there she is down here on the front row. Rebecca is Director of Marketing here at Highland Community College. She is responsible for organizing and implementing this inauguration program for our 44th president. Now, I've got my pages turned around. Here we go. It is always a pleasure to recognize members of the Scotty Nation. Mr. Dave Rice, his wife Marcy Rice, right? His last 17 years as president, as you look across the campus, under his tenure, the landscape has changed. Porter Family Stadium, Walter Wellness Center, the weight room expansion, Myrtle Piper Plaza, student housing additions, Piper and Prairie, the track complex, and many other reservations and improvements. Along with regional additions. In 2008, the Northeast Technical College became HCC Technical Center at Atchison, Kansas, and with the technical expansion at Baileyville, the Western Center, it became a reality also. Development and expansion of academic and training programs, precision agriculture, nursing, diesel technology, viticulture, enology programs, and the opening of the Highland Winery in Walmago. I didn't know they were, I thought they were cameras. We're having fun. The program format, you do have that in front of you. We will be following that right down the line, a performance by our lads and lassies under the direction of Shayna Leahy, vocal instructor here at Highland Community College. Greetings from Harry Moeller, our chair for the Faculty Association at Highland Community College. The installation ceremony for President Fox, followed by a response from President Fox, and a reception invite by Dr. Eric Ingmeyer, Vice President of Student Services here at Highland Community College. Without further ado, we will continue with the program.
stumble through your days. Got your head hung low.
Your sky's a shade of gray.
Like a zombie in a maze. You're asleep inside, but you can't shake away. Cause you're just a dead man walking, thinking that's your only option. But you can flick the switch and brighten up your darkest day. Sun is up and the colors blinding. Take a world and redefine it. Leave behind your narrow mind, you'll never be the same. Come alive, come alive. Go and light your light, let it burn so bright. Reaching out to the sky, and it's open wide. You're electrified, and the world becomes a fantasy, and you're more than you could ever be. Cause you're dreaming with your eyes wide open, and you know you can't go back again to the world that you were living in. Cause you're dreaming with your eyes wide open, so come alive. See it in your eyes. You believe that lie,
That you need to hide your face.
afraid to step outside. So you lock the door, but don't you stay that way. No more living in those shadows. You and me, we know how that goes.
But don't you see it? Oh, you'll
Never, never be the same. Little bit of lightning striking, bottle up to keep on shining. You can prove there's more to you. You cannot be afraid. Come alive, come alive. Go and light your light, let it burn so bright. Reaching up to the sky, and it's open wide. You're electrified. The world becomes a fantasy, and you're more than you could ever be. You're dreaming with your eyes wide open, and you know you can't go back again to the world that you were living in. 'Cause you're dreaming with your eyes wide open, so come alive. Come on, come on, come in, come on. To anyone who's bursting with a dream, come on, you'll hear the call. To anyone who's searching for a way to break free. The world becomes a fantasy, you're more than you could ever be. You're dreaming with your eyes wide open. You know you can't go back again to the world that we were living in. You're dreaming with your eyes wide open. The world becomes a fantasy, and you're more than you could ever be. You're dreaming with your eyes wide open. And we know we can't go back again to the world that we were living in. You're dreaming with your eyes wide open. You're dreaming with your eyes wide open. So come alive.
I think I'll do what Tom did here. Welcome, everybody. Glad to see you all here this evening or this afternoon. I was asked to, first of all, introduce myself before I go through this speech with you. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Harry Moeller. This is my 23rd year now at Highland Community College. And by the way, I just want to make a comment about that. I was at a meeting the other day and I looked around, and much to my shock and dismay, I was the oldest person in the room on the main campus. And also I began to think about this, and I was like, I think I've been here, there's only been one person that's been here longer than me, and I shouldn't mention their name, but it's Teresa Grossman. But anyways, so I just thought I would share that with you. I am the current Faculty Association President. Also with my wife, Margie, we are both co-advisors for the past 8 years of an honor society called Phi Theta Kappa. We have a local chapter named Alpha Zeta Gamma chapter. And actually before that, I had a stint of 3 years starting in 2000 as well. So I just thought I'd share that with you. as well. So I've been given the honor to give this speech. I've been asked to give a speech to welcome Deborah Fox to Highland Community College on behalf of the faculty and staff. Welcome back, Deb. So I think I will go ahead and get this going here for you. So when I was asked to give this speech, first of all, I said, oh boy, I get to give a speech in front of everybody at the inauguration of our 44th president. So I had all these thoughts going through my head, and I kind of had in my mind already what I wanted to say at the speech. But it really came into focus for me this past weekend. My wife and I took our 3 officers to Kansas City, Kansas Community College for the Kansas-Nebraska Region 5 Handicap Leadership Conference. And during this conference, one of the sessions, the attendees were actually asked to complete what's called a Strengths Finder survey, which is administered by Gallup, of the Gallup polls. Matter of fact, I have the book up here that we were given as well. So what you do, you go in the survey and you answer a number of questions, and then a report is generated. And what it does, it identifies your 5 most dominant signature themes out of 34. All 34 are described in here. So this report then is generated, describes those 5 themes. So what thought I would do with this speech is I would like to talk to you about the 5 themes I think would have come up in Deb Fox's report, because she had done this. All right, so, and I'm going to do this based on my own experiences with Deb through the years, as well as observations through the years. So here's the first one, and I'm going to read out what they tell you these themes are, by the way. So the first theme I want to mention to you, I think kind of suits Deb, is empathy. All right, this is what's described in this book. People talented in this theme can sense the feelings of other people by imagining themselves in others' lives or other situations. You are there for your family and friends whenever they need you. Now, I don't know if Deb remembers this or not. I started in 1997, and my first year I lived in a furnished apartment over in St. Joseph, Missouri. An opportunity came up where there's a house that's just north of the baseball field. A small house. I got the opportunity to rent out that house. All right. Of course, I had no furniture. All right. So I spent that summer teaching to get enough money for furniture. But here's the thing that happened. When I was getting ready to move in that house, again, I'd only been here a year. I didn't really know a lot of people. I got to become acquaintances with a number of people. One of them was Michelle Hopt. I don't know if some of you remember her. She was our student activities director as well as housing director at that point in time. And we were talking a bit about this, and I was telling her I'm going to move into this house. And she asked me, well, do you need help? And I said, well, sure, I could use some help. I don't have a lot, but I have enough to, I could use some help with. And Jeff Hearn, one of our math instructors at the time too, he helped me out. But Michelle said, I think I'll ask Deb too. Maybe she'll help out. So, okay. And I kind of just, I knew Deb casually. I thought we were friends and everything. I thought, okay. And sure enough, Deb shows up and she helps me move in. She didn't really know me all that well, but she knew me enough, I think, to consider me a friend. And she helped me to move in to my new place without really knowing me all that well. But I think that illustrates that quality about Deb Fox, that she will help out people. And she does that. If she knows you, she's going to help you if she can. So that's the first thing. All right? The second one I came up with was harmony. All right? What it says in this book for harmony is people talented in this theme look for consensus. They don't enjoy conflict, seeing it as unnecessary and counterproductive. Rather, they seek areas of agreement. Now, here's how I came about thinking this was one of Deb's themes. I think it was either 2000 or 2001. I was part of the negotiating team for master contract negotiations. And at that time, and by the way, when I first started, Deb was the VP of regional instruction then, or dean as assistant dean, and then she became the VP of finance. So I believe this might have been one of her first duties or first involvements with negotiations. So you know how negotiations can get, right? Sometimes they can get, how shall we say, a bit contentious. You're sitting across from a representative from the college who has their lawyer, and you're going back and forth on a number of issues. Well, Deb walks in there, and during these negotiations, first of all, she was quite reasonable, by the way. She saw and understood the points that we were making as faculty, and as a matter of fact, without going into great details, she was willing to change a part of our contract regarding credit for studio classes and lab classes, because she saw and understood that's something we should do, and it's only fair and reasonable. And that's the way Deb is. She believes that you don't want to have conflict. That solves no purpose whatsoever. Instead, we all should work together and try to come up with solutions. That's the second thing. All right? Third one, responsibility. People talented in this theme take psychological ownership of what they say and they will do. They are committed to stable values such as honesty and loyalty. Here's how I experienced this with Deb. It was in 2002, my wife and I just got married. She was teaching at Topeka West High School, and then she got a job at Troy for a while, and we moved up here to Highland. And at the time, Highland Community College had a house for the president of the college that they allowed that president to live in. At that time, it was Betty Stevens had just gotten a job, I think, at Kansas State, and had moved out of it. So the house was just sitting there because Dave Rice, who became our president, he lives in Highland. He didn't need to live in that house. So the college was trying to decide what to do about it. So for a while, they were renting it out, and Margie and I were renting out the house. Now, here's where it wraps back to Deb. Deb lived across the street from us. All right? She lived across the street from us. And by the way, back to empathy, my wife and I like to take trips in the summer where we go traveling, and Deb, without even asking, she would come over and mow our yard. So that shows you empathy again. She was willing to do that for us. Here's the other thing. Deb had her daughter with her, Marika. Now, I don't know if you know the situation with this. I'm not going to go in great detail on this, and forgive me if I get some of the details wrong, but one of Deb's best friends died tragically. And she was asked to adopt her daughter. Now, I don't know about you, but wow, I mean, to ask someone to do that, to take on that responsibility, that says something about that person, the quality that Deb Fox has regarding responsibility, right? And the thing is, and I talked to Deb about this, Marika now's married. I think, her husband runs an auto shop, I think. She's working for a doctor. She has two adorable daughters. I saw the pictures of them. Although she warned me that the one daughter's going to be like Marika, so I don't know what that meant exactly. But anyways, but again, she's doing quite well. And that's Deb, right? Next one, by the way. The fourth one here, consistency. People talented in this theme are keenly aware of the need to treat people the same. They try to treat everyone in the world with consistency by setting up clear expectations and adhering to them. Now, I can't relate a personal experience with this, but observing Deb through the years when she was VP of Finance and how she worked with her staff and how her staff responded to her, Deb would treat them all the same. She had, of course, expectations. She wants them to do their jobs, but she wouldn't look over their shoulders. She would expect them to do their jobs, of course, hold them accountable. But her staff respected her greatly on this and really looked up to her as she performed her duties. That's consistency. The fifth one, restorative. People talented in this theme are adept at dealing with problems. They are good at figuring out what is wrong and resolving it. Last Tuesday, in my position as Faculty Association President, we set up one-on-one meetings with the college president. We do that 3 or 4 times in a semester. So Deb and I were talking, and what immediately impressed me right from the get-go, you have to realize Deb's been away from here, about 5 years or so, I would guess? Sorry, 7 years. She's been away for 7 years. But yet, in a 2.5-month period, she was able to identify the challenges that HCC is facing. In 2.5 months, all right? She identified those problems now and what's going to happen in the future. And she has the ability to prioritize the more serious challenges and develop necessary plans to correct those issues, all right? That's restorative. That's what brought, I think, Deb back here to Highland Community College. And to kind of wrap some of this up here for you, I was trying to come up with a quote that I think summarizes these strengths in Deb Fox. And the one I came up with is from John Maxwell. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's written 21 books on leadership. He's a noted speaker and a presenter. And here's the quote I found. He says in this quote, "The pessimist complains about the wind. The optimist expects it to change. The leader adjusts the sails." I think that describes Deb Fox, right? So, just to kind of mention a couple other things here. It is very reassuring to me that Deb Fox was willing to take on this position. I think she's the leader we need in this day and age, at this point in time. I'm glad she accepted the position. You know, the motto on our website, by the way, is "Start here, go anywhere." All right? Under her leadership, I think she will make our college a destination for students to start here. And with the help of employees who want to be here because of her qualities, our students will then be able to go anywhere. All right? And in closing here, it's time for me to shut things down here. In closing, my wife and I, when we were at this leadership conference, the advisors were given keys with quotes on them. And Margie and I thought we should give this to Deb Fox. This is a quote from George Washington Carver. "Education is the key to unlock the golden door of freedom." Thank you.
I feel lower than the heel on my shoe. I have some guests up here with me that I should have introduced, and so I'm going to stop and go back and introduce those. These are our vice presidents, and as I name you, would you please stand? Aaron Shaw is the vice president of academics. Dr. Eric Ingmeyer is the vice president of student services. And Randy Wilby is the vice president of operations, finance and operations. And I missed them. Thank you. I deeply apologize, because if I was in your shoes, I'd be thinking the same thing you are. There were some other names, and one of those is sitting right in front of me, and he was my employer. Then he served on the board here for I don't know how many years, Mr. Harder, Mr. Don Harder from Troy. Then he said, "I'm going to retire. Would you run in my place for the Board of Trustees at Highland Community College?" He is with us today. And Kelly, if there's another one, please let me know. Moving forward, it was about this time a year ago that we began our search for a new president. At this time, if she is, and I know she is, Eileen Groninger, if you would just wave your hand or stand, she's cleared back underneath the balcony. There she is. Eileen is our Director of Human Resources and is the processor of our acquiring new employees and workers here at Highland Community College. It's a very, first of all, she did a wonderful job, and it's very tedious and very time-taking, which I'll explain in a minute, but thank you, Eileen. We had over 30 applications for this position that they had, I think there were 5 steps in the requirement in order to have a completed application in the first place. And the second thing was, a couple of those had over 80 pages of materials that we had to go through. So we created a search committee, of which I was a part of, to go through all of those and try to figure out a number to bring forward in terms of a final search for our position here at Highland Community College. And it wasn't 5 minutes into that search committee meeting that the question was, Board Chair, what are we looking for? Well, the board, knowing that Mr. Rice was leaving us, we had talked about this, and we thought we knew what we wanted, and then after we thought what we wanted, was it what we needed? So what happened? Magnitude of change creates components of change. February the 9th, 1858, Highland University was chartered by the Kansas Territorial Legislation. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. At first, Highland University did not have money, qualified teachers, students with adequate background. So no college level classes were taught, only elementary level classes. Get this page turned over. Our mission today, Highland Community College, the first college in Kansas, provides lifelong learning opportunities and contributes to the economic development to enhance the quality of life in the communities we serve. Our vision, Highland Community College, is recognized as the college of choice in Northeast Kansas. Today, the numbers from our academic 2018-2019 year in terms of the enrollment and classes offered ranks us 7th amongst the 19th community colleges in the state of Kansas. So again, that question, what are we looking for? Simply was, through the collaboration with our committee, search committee, we came up with about 4 or 5 ideas. Number 1, someone with a community fit. They have to live in Donovan County. We have 2 or 3 towns that they can live in, but we would appreciate it if the fit was good. Number 2, compatible with a 9-county Northeast Kansas service area in a rural setting, which is predominantly a agricultural economic based area. Third, familiar with knowledge of higher education finances, and particularly a little familiar with the state of Kansas and their whole picture of higher education financing would be helpful. Very, very important, someone you would like to work for. Finally, passion. Passion for education that is enthusiastic and contagious. So, in the end, we felt Deborah Fox interacted well with the campus and its constituents. She is great fit in the community and knows HCC, having spent 14 years as Highland's Vice President of Finance and Operations. She is hitting the ground running and comes with plenty of experience. We want her fair and square, regardless of what those pirates in Southeast Kansas are saying. She has her home in Highland. She's on contract, she can't leave. Are you having fun, Deborah? All right, Deborah, for those of you that need a little more information here, Deborah is a native of Kansas, graduating from Meade High School, attended Pratt Community College on a tennis scholarship, got her bachelor's degree from Pittsburgh State University, most recently served as Director of Business Operations and Management for USD 466, Independence, Kansas. Previously to that, served at Highland Community College, 14 years as Vice President of Finance and Operation. Prior to that, 3 years Assistant Dean of Regional Instruction here at Highland. She holds a Master of Science in Education Administration with emphasis in higher education from Fort Hays State University. Holds an MBA in General Administration from Pittsburgh State University. And at this time, Deborah, if you will come forward, we will have the presentation of the medallion. The President's Medallion is the college's top honor. It is the badge of the office of the President. It symbolizes excellence, commitment, contribution, and is paramount representation of the holder's dedication to advancing Highland Community College. It is to be worn when participating in a formal college ceremony. So, Deborah Fox, on behalf of the HCC Board of Trustees, faculty, staff, and citizens of Doniphan County and Northeast Kansas, I, Thomas Smith, Chairman of the Board of Trustees, do hereby announce Deborah Fox as the 44th President of Highland Community College and present to her the Presidential Medallion and all the duties and responsibilities it represents. It is my honor to bestow to you the challenge of leading this institution. And the board wishes to thank you, and as Harry has already indicated, start here and go anywhere. Your 44th President of Highland Community College, Deborah Fox.
Welcome, members of the HCC Board of Trustees, Russ Karn, Jason Taylor, Tom Smith. Welcome to members of the HCC Foundation Board, members of the Alumni Board. Welcome, honored guests, former President Rice and Mrs. Rice, former trustee Don Harder. Welcome to my mother, Janet Fox. Welcome to my former colleagues from Independence, and welcome to all the faculty, staff, alumni, students, and friends of the college. Thank you to the Board of Trustees of HCC for the confidence that you have entrusted in me to lead Highland Community College as the 44th President. Thank you to the Faculty Association, Harry Moeller, and the Board of Trustees Chair, Tom Smith, for your very kind comments. I appreciate all of you being here to support me today. An inauguration speech affords a rare opportunity for a new president to thank those that have forged the path, an opportunity to reflect on one's own institution, and offer some insight on the state of higher education in general. Also provide what I hope are some inspiring words as we take this journey together. HCC has a lasting legacy in higher education, one that I'm grateful to again be a part. I'm thankful to be given the opportunity to celebrate with you all. I would like to begin my remarks with gratitude Gratitude for those that I've had the opportunity to work with at Highland, some that have retired, some that are no longer with us, and for those of you that are still here. I've been fortunate in my career to work with wonderful and talented people. After all, it's the people that make an organization a success. They're the ones that give it life and give it purpose. In 1995, Dr. Betty Stevens hired me to work at HCC. I had the privilege in learning from and working with Dr. Stevens, HCC's 42nd president, working with David Rice, HCC's 43rd president, also working with fellow administrators, Dr. Alan Nichols, Mike Parker, Dr. Cheryl Rasmussen, Dr. Craig Mosher. Returning to Highland after 7 years away, I now have the opportunity to work with another group of dedicated professionals, Dr. Aaron Shaw, VP of Academic Affairs, Dr. Eric Ingmeyer, VP of Student Services, and Mr. Randy Willey, VP for Finance. There have been, without a doubt, a long list of individuals that have made lasting contributions to Highland Community College. Many of those individuals being part of the faculty here at Highland. Individuals that I've had the pleasure of working with when I first came to Highland. They dedicated most of their professional careers to educating Highland students. Many have retired: Brenda Hines, Clifford Hawk, Jim Hughes, Linda James, Sue Winchester, Diane Moran, Glenn Gross, Virgil Hollar. There was also those that held multiple roles as educators and coaches: Marty Allen, Greg Delzite, Glenna Batchelter, Benita Geiger, Tom Smith. And there's others that are still here giving their time: Harry Moeller, Jeff Hearn, Teresa Grossman, Shayna Leahy, Michelle Hearn, and Margie Heddens. I'm looking forward to working with many of the recent new additions to the faculty, well, new for me anyway. I've been impressed by your forward thinking, your eye towards innovation, and your willingness to try new things. There are another group of individuals that probably didn't plan to work in education, but ended up here anyway. Our administrative and classified employees that have continued to support the college in a variety of roles. I want to express my appreciation to them. There are too numerous to name, but too important to not at least be mentioned. All have shown their dedication to HCC and its success, and I appreciate their support. My first day at Highland in 1995, I sat at the faculty lunch table in the cafeteria. Yes, there used to be one of those. I met a faculty member by the name of Arlen Parrish. Arlen Parrish was a sociology instructor at Highland Community College, and in 1983 he published the history of Highland Community College. I had the privilege of working with Arlen for a very short time in 1995 until Arlen's untimely passing that same year. At the time, I didn't know that Arlen had published a book about the college. I just knew him as a faculty member that I had come to respect for his kindness and graciousness in sharing with me what he knew about the college. The college is grateful, as am I, to have access to Arlen's work documenting the history of Highland Community College. I would like to share with you excerpts from Arlen's book, The History of Highland Community College. Highland University, now Highland Community College, was chartered by the Kansas Territorial Legislature on February 9th of 1858, making it the oldest surviving college in Kansas. The college was near closing on several occasions. In the 1860s, drought and Civil War nearly killed the school just as it was getting started. In the 1880s, it was the withdrawal support of the Presbyterian Church that was almost the college's downfall. In the second decade of the 20th century, poor financial management pushed the institution to the brink of bankruptcy. The Depression of the 1930s and World War II in the 1940s nearly delivered the fatal blows to the struggling educational organization. In part, the survival of the college in Highland is due to its leaders' ability to adjust its structure and curriculum to meet the changing needs of the community. Its history can be traced back to the Iowa Sac and Fox Presbyterian Indian Mission founded by Reverend Irvin in 1837. The original building, Irvin Hall, was constructed in the mid-1800s. and is still highly used on the HCC campus. The college has also served as a private grade school, an academy, a university, a four-year college, a private junior college, and public junior college. It is now Highland Community College, offering a wide range of transfer courses, career and technical education courses, and athletics. The college has added online offerings and distant learning options in addition to being able to serve in excess of 2,800 students. In 1975, Highland was the smallest of the 19 public junior colleges. In 1982, the 12th largest of the colleges. Arlen described the struggles of the colleges through 1982. As a footnote, in 2019, Highland was the 6th largest of the 19 community colleges. But even in recent decades, the college has not always flourished. There have been declines in student enrollment, followed by cuts to the workforce, loss of state aid, limits to local funding, loss of federal resources. All challenges from which a board of trustees and past administration have worked to make Highland a stronger, more resilient institution. But we are still being challenged. When economic times are good, community colleges enrollments can and will decline. Economic success of our nation can be one of the most negatively impactful times for community colleges and cause our enrollments to decline. Potential students are doing the very thing we wanted them to do. They're joining the workforce, they're creating a pathway to the career, they're creating their future. During this time, higher ed institutions begin to compete for fewer and fewer students. The community college must use this time to regroup, reassess, and reinvent itself, seeking the next opportunity to prepare students. We start thinking about better ways to train our students for their chosen career paths, or train them better for an established job. We address how courses are delivered, when courses are delivered. We examine ways to attract students to our campuses and retain them once they arrive. We pick apart our deferred maintenance list, create lengthy wish lists, and try to figure out how to keep the college sustainable while keeping it affordable and accessible. Education at its core encourages individuals to look for change. Take the risks. Seek a better future. A strong institution encourages its campus community to look for change. Take the risks. Make a better future. This remarkable college, with its distinguished history, is an embodiment of change. But change is not always eagerly accepted and can bring with it discourse and its own set of problems. Very early in my career, I had a supervisor give me a sheet of paper, and on it a story was titled, "If It Weren't for the Troubles of My Job." Basically, it outlined if it weren't for daily problems, the frustration of others, or frankly, things just not working out as planned, my role with the organization would be unnecessary. I remind myself of that story often when faced with challenges. If things weren't difficult or problems didn't need to be solved, I probably wouldn't be needed. Over time, I've lost that piece of paper, but I've never forgotten that message. Despite all the challenges or changes or troubles we may face, we are an extraordinary profession. You have entrusted me to be your president, to guide and lead an extraordinary college. You have entrusted me to build on the achievements of the 43 presidents before me. I will never forget the importance of what I've been asked to do and the sense of pride of where I am. I will leave you with the message that Arlen Parrish ended in his last chapter of his book. Highland Community College has a varied and exciting history, but having a long history is no guarantee of having a future. All associated with the school must continue to work to make sure that Highland Community College continues to grow and meet the ever-changing needs of the community. Thank you again for this incredible opportunity. Go Scotties.
When the hills of dawn up and dew greet the eastern sky, proudly stands our alma mater on her hilltop high. Gold and blue will float for aye old Highland over thee, and may thy sons be leal and loyal to thy memory. When the evening twilight deepens and the shadows fall, lingers long the golden sunbeam on thy western wall. Gold and blue will float for aye old Highland over thee, and may thy sons be leal and loyal to thy memory. When the shades of life draw nigh and dark our hearts may be, may the rays of youth and sunshine linger long o'er thee. Gold and blue will float for aye old Highland over thee, and may thy sons be leal and loyal to thy memory.
There. On behalf of the college, we would like to thank you for attending today's ceremony, and we'd like to invite you to the Walter Yost Gallery for a reception. So thank you for attending.